evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself this weird, wild, wacky world of us. Welcome to the exciting Storms of Darkness in Dublin. This is my 5th scene today, so by God, we're on the coffee. We're on the coffee now, aren't we? Darcy, you have just come home from a long and exciting day of shoe shopping. Not any other shopping, shoe shopping, because shoes are important.
I mean,
You
they are.
have your man leave the bags down, and by God, there are many bags today. Needless to say, Louis Vuitton is a hell of a drug. If Louis Vuitton don't sell shoes, I look like an idiot. I don't remember if they do or if they don't.
They sell bags.
Shut up. I am not good with fashion. I never claimed to be. So you'll have your man leave down the bags. There are many of them. At which point he will leave. He'll say, I assume that is all, Miss Ellsworth.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I very appreciate the fact that you took so much time out of your day to go shopping with me. I don't really deserve it, but thanks anyway. Here, have a tip, and she'll give him like 100 euros.
As he leaves, he kind of says very, very quietly under his breath, so you almost can't hear him. Mind, you're putting my kids through college. But you will be left alone in the room. At which point you will hear movement from your bedroom, like a shuffling noise.
Hello. I didn't know you were still in there to make the bed. Um,
Oh, was I supposed to make the bed? Siren will pop his head out the door. Pop.
uh, no. Um. Hi. What are
Hello.
you doing here?
I'm currently marveling at the fact that somebody such as yourself possesses so many different types of perfume. I didn't know that that was a social requirement nowadays.
Well, it's perfume is very dependent on what mood you want to set.
So, what kind of mood does Alabaster Sunset choose to set? He has a bottle in his hand.
I that's lazy afternoons.
I see. And
She
what
blushes
does
a little.
Purple Screaming Orgasm intend to evoke?
Club scene.
I see. That's why it smells like how one describes sweat and dependency.
I uh, look. Why are you here? Uh,
I need a reason.
yeah, it's my house.
And technically, it's an apartment. Technically, it's a hotel, and technically, it's your father's.
So,
If you'd like, I can simply leave.
okay.
He will walk towards the door.
I mean, look. Do you want something to drink?
Thank you. I would be delighted.
Okay. What would you like?
Oh, he will. You were convinced that the small serving, you know the covering for a serving tray that they give you in a hotel.
Hmm.
That you were convinced that that was from room service yesterday, but he lifts it up, and underneath there are two drinks, and he says, "I've already seen to that."
Oh. But
The added advantage of being able to tell the future.
right. Um. Why are you here?
Hmm. I'm here because I needed to have a little talk with you. He sits down on one of the chairs in the kind of the lounge area of the suite. Because the suite has 2 bedrooms, it has a large kind of central lounge communal area, and it has a small kitchen.
I mean, if it has 2 bedrooms, then at least I know who's occupying the other bedroom. Um,
I was going to say, technically speaking, you were taking care of Arthur, weren't you?
yeah.
For the record, his name is not Arthur. Would you actually like to know his name? Because everyone was just calling him Arthur.
It might be useful.
His name is Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew Higgins, to be exact, is his full name.
Okay. Noted.
And how is the boy doing?
He likes the pool a lot.
I did some investigating on him. It would seem as though both of his parents were junkies and ended up, well, owing some very nasty people money. It didn't end well.
Oh. Well, he's been mostly here. I didn't know what to whether he could like go out or anything, so I tried to keep him entertained in the hotel. Luckily, there's enough here, and he liked it. So, yeah.
Fate works in very mysterious ways, as I said. He wasn't intended. I'm still working on exactly why it's now that he's come back, but I don't know.
Darcy shrugs. She's still standing, by the way, sort of awkward in between Siren and the shoe bags.
Hmm. So, I'm curious. How would I phrase this? When you helped Hope, you reached out and you grasped something that you couldn't potentially yourself control. Why did you do it?
Uh, well, I just did what you told me to do, and wanted something real bad.
Yes, but my question is, why did you want to help her so badly?
I, I don't know. No reason really.
That's not true. At least I don't think it is. There was a reason.
Well, why do you want to know? I mean, it's not really important, is it?
As a matter of fact, it's the most important thing.
Why?
Because the reasons we do things, those moments in which we place our lives on the line for other people, oftentimes come to define us.
Ah,
Because that's what you did. If you had, fortunately, fate was on your side. If it wasn't, you could have unmade yourself or done even worse. But you were willing to risk that for someone you barely knew.
I mean, so if that was the worst that could have happened, it wasn't that big a deal.
It means that I now feel like I can give you this. He will reach into his sleeve and he will withdraw a letter. You recall something that your avatar said to you when you awoke, that you would eventually come to read or hear something, that there would be something waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
He holds out the
Darcy
letter.
will actually come and sit down in the chair there.
Mhm.
What's that?
Something I said I would give to you when you were ready.
Okay. She'll take the letter and open it.
It's interesting. As you turn the letter over to open it, you will see the fact that on the back, printed in black wax or impressed in black wax, there is a black orchid flower.
Okay.
Do you open it?
Yes.
Okay. Inside, you will find it's very, very thick, kind of like parchment paper. Inside, you will find two sheets of parchment paper that have been rolled up together, or that have been, sorry, folded up together. And as you open it up, you will simply see both of the pages are entirely blank. There's no words written on them, except for on the second page, the very, very, like very, very close to the bottom, you will see there's the same symbol, the black orchid, and written around the orchid in a circle of very tiny letters, so tiny you might need to get a magnifying glass to see them. It will simply say, second star to the right and straight on until morning.
Darcy will look up. By the way, the magnifying glass that she's using is actually just that she's going to take a picture with her phone and then it's going to zoom in.
That's fine. You can just do that on your phone, through the camera
Yeah.
lens. It can zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern
Well,
technology, it's pretty great.
exactly. So she's just going to look up from the letter. Siren is like, I don't get it. What does this have to do with hope?
It doesn't have anything to do with her. This is the fact that you were willing to give such a sacrifice, and I once promised that I'd give that to you when the time was right, when I felt as though you were worthy of it.
But I don't understand what this is. And who did you promise that to?
To you.
My previous me?
Correct.
Must have been some fuck up.
No, she wasn't. You look down at the piece of paper, at which point you'll see Siren. He stands up quite quickly and he draws a knife and he pricks his finger so that blood falls onto the parchment. The blood seems to well at the center before it turns into lines that form a picture until you will eventually come to see two figures, one of which is clearly Siren. Siren doesn't appear to change his age in the sense that he is as young in the picture as he is as you see him now. But the woman who is with him is stunningly lovely. When I say stunningly lovely, I mean she's the kind of person who exudes an aura of not just beauty without, but beauty within. And you see the two of them standing in what appears to be some kind of grand ballroom. And when I say grand ballroom, I mean the sun is sparkling in through crystal windows, shining on silverware made from silver. Everything is stunningly appointed and beautiful. And you will see the two of them are dancing, and in the picture it starts to move, and indeed they do start to dance. This image will last for all of about 20 seconds before it is that it will fade.
As it sort of fades, Darcy just blinks. Then looks up again. I don't understand. Was she a friend of yours?
Oh, yes, very much so. There's truth. The truth about who you are, what you are, etc., is hidden in those two pages. You only have to be able to look at it from the right perspective.
You mean I have to bleed on it as well?
No, that was showing you my memory.
Oh,
You
good.
merely have to find a way of showing it, of having it show you what you want to see.
Oh. Um, I'm not quite sure. I can just. I mean, I want it.
This is something that will take more than want
Oh,
and desire. This is something that will take coming to know yourself. It's not going to be a quick process.
okay.
However,
So,
he will very gently stroke your face with his hand before he will kind of gesture for you to look down again.
she'll look down.
Written now on the page in black spidery writing, very very thin, as if it had been etched there, only less than half a millimeter thick. You will see the words. How to phrase this? Yeah, you will see the words. When it is, you'll see the words. How would it phrase this? No matter the mountains that need to be climbed, or the valleys that need to be descended to, the rivers that need to be crossed, I believe in you. It's signed A.S. Orr.
A.S. Or?
Orr. Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Who is A.S.?
ASR, to be exact. Those are your three initials.
Okay. Then it's gonna sound a bit weird, but what was my name then? Or and how did you know me? And why does it have to be so complicated?
Is
I'm
it?
too stupid for this.
You're not stupid. Hmm. As for your name, that's something for you to find out. As for how I knew you, that's an interesting question. To answer it, you were my first apprentice. So it's rather ironic that I'm teaching you again. But then again, if it helps, you're very much like you are now as you were then.
Stupid.
No, never. You view the world from your own point of view. No one is stupid, Miss Holdsworth.
I wasn't good enough to help Hope.
Yes, you were. Hope would be nothing now if you hadn't intervened. I've spoken to Lord Sysho on the topic. He is entirely convinced that if you hadn't intervened, there would be nothing of the girl left to save. All that there would be left would be anger, bitterness, and pain. And you prevented that, at least to some degree. You made it so that there is a chance. That in and of itself is invaluable.
It made me see that I don't know. I always thought that, I was a good person, and in a way, I mean, I know I was like, rich and could have probably done more, but after that, and I sort of realized that I'm pretty shitty. Just, it just doesn't matter.
Let me ask you a question, Darcy. And you notice that's interesting because he very rarely, he never called you Darcy, he always called you Miss Ellsworth. He takes her hand in his, and his hands are very, very thin and very, very pale, but they are warm. And he says, "What is more noble? Someone who can give $1 million away in order to help the needy, or someone who can only afford to give us, or somebody who can only afford to give a loaf of bread to a hungry man when he has nothing else to give, but will give that at the detriment of himself?"
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I realized. You kind of need to not be rich to be good.
Yes. And in that moment when the chips were down, when the cards were being played, when the universe had decided to do something foul, you weren't powerful, you weren't important, your money couldn't buy you anything. In that moment, you were just one soul, and you called out to the void, "Save this person, no matter what it costs me." And the void answered. It let you do the thing because you asked selflessly. You suffer the consequences of your actions because, in a way, it broke you ever so slightly. But here you stand. You did a good thing. Money didn't buy it, fame didn't grant it. No one on Instagram will care about it. But you saved someone. You did wonderfully.
Doesn't feel like it. It doesn't matter.
That's because you can't see it, my dear. Would you like to see how it feels from my perspective?
I don't want to bother you, really.
He holds your hand in his, and then he brings up your hand and he places it on his chest where you would assume his heart would be. And you feel an immense sense of pride wash over you, like as in that, no, not pride when it is negative, but pride in the achievements of someone whom you care for very deeply, like the pride you would assume a parent feels when their child succeeds, or some kind of other good and noble pride. You feel it wash over you. You feel it banish the darkness and the shadow
I
that
really think Darcy's going to try and pull her hand back because she doesn't want to feel that at all.
okay. You pull your hand back, you still feel it. It's resonating in your head to the point that, how would I describe? So, if you think about a derangement, you think about it as being like a note, like a musical note that's just kind of out of harmony with the rest of you. Does
Hmm.
that does that analogy kind
Yeah,
of make
yeah, I
sense?
understand what you're. Yeah,
You feel it doesn't get rid of the note, but it starts to create a pitch that it brings the note into tune, if that makes sense.
hmm.
So you feel a very deep inner warmth that makes you feel, you have a lot of self-worth issues. However, in this moment, the fact that somebody else was so proud of you breaks down that other feeling.
Yeah, it also brings back so much more.
I know, right? Have fun with that.
I'm gonna make a willpower roll.
Yeah, you are. It's going to be difficulty 9.
You're so mean.
I
Oh wait,
apologize for.
I do not have 6 dice. Do I?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Why do I think I have? That doesn't make any sense. I have 4. Yeah,
Oh,
I was
oh
gonna
dear.
say.
This is going to go weird ways.
Ha! Wow, that is 2 successes.
So, yeah, you don't break down. You feel, "I can do this." No, 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 no. Oh, no. Important feeling. If someone else thinks I am a good person, I am a good person. If somebody else feels I matter, maybe I matter. There you go. Have that conflict for you.
Oh God. I mean, I was more thinking about, oh, so this is how my parents should have felt about me. But
Yes,
you know,
yes, no, 110%. This is the affection I should have gotten. There
yeah.
you go. Have that one. Oh dear. And thus Darcy gets a crush on Siren for daddy issues. What could possibly be?
Oh no. I mean, Lottie's gonna kill me if that happens. So I don't know, man.
It's okay, as I said, he is my nice NPC. Everyone loves my nice NPCs. Ish. So yes, respond accordingly to why didn't your parents give you this kind of love, affection, and affirmment? There.
Yeah. I don't know if she really can respond to that. I think for the longest time she's just gonna sit there, like even with her hand pulled back, she's gonna stare um at Siren probably. What was that?
That was me expressing the pride I feel in you.
But what? Why? You're nothing to me. I mean, no. That's wrong. Didn't mean it like that. Sorry. This
I
is
was there when you took your second breath into this world. I will. I made a promise that I would always take care of you, and I always keep my promises.
okay. So it's because of the promise, right? Okay. Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Things have been rationalized in Darcy's head. It's not because of her, it's because of a promise to someone who was her maybe once, but she can't remember, so it's not really her anyway. This is rationalized now. She seems to be relieved that she managed to figure a way out of this.
You know what? Hey, Saskia, make me
Yes.
make me another willpower roll. Difficulty 8 this time.
You found my weak spot.
Well, in fact, you've got 4 willpower.
I still have two successes though.
Okay. For the record, in case I forget to say it after this event or after this session, because you have succeeded in this role, you may now buy. I believe mages call it. I can't remember what mages call it. I think they call it remembrance, past lives, or something like that.
Lives, yeah.
Yeah, you may now have past lives 1 because you've succeeded in that role, and what I'm about to tell you.
Oh dear.
You suddenly are no longer sitting with Siren. You find yourself laying on the ground, cover or rather seeing snow falling all around you. You feel a hand holding yours, and you see a Siren holding your hand. There are tears streaming down his face, uncontrollably so, as you see him. He's talking to you in a language that you can't understand as Darcy. It doesn't go into your brain. If you had to guess, it sounds maybe Russian, maybe something Eastern European, definitely. Then he stands up, and you see him wreathed in kind of pure golden white fire, and the fire extends all around him, and you start to hear people screaming as the scene zooms out, and you see men dressed in uniforms aflame, running in all directions, screaming as their faces blacken, their bodies burn, and their clothing is incinerated. Before you will snap back to the present. Snap.
What was that?
What was what?
There was snow. And there was you. And something was going on. I think something bad was going on.
Oh, just to clarify, you were definitely laying down when that happened, like laying on the ground, you'd assume. Sorry, continue.
And there was I was there, I guess. But I don't know what you were saying. I was on the ground and what was that?
What was what?
I just told you.
I have no memory of you laying on the ground. You'll have to be more specific.
I just saw something. It wasn't. It was some sort of weird language, like I don't know, Russian or something.
Are you purposely trying to obfuscate the fact you saw him murder a whole bunch of people?
Ah, probably.
Because you're pretty sure there was about 20 people. Like you're pretty sure none of them made it out alive. Mm-mm. That was some good southern fried.
Chicken.
Yes. I was gonna say something else, but then that would have given the scene away. Like that.
Now I'll just stick with chicken.
Yes, delicious southern fried chicken. And he will say, "Oh, perhaps you're remembering when I made you the promise."
You were killing people.
Yes.
Why?
He stands up and he walks towards the door. He doesn't say anything. He's just walking towards the door.
Wait. Darcy will run after him.
I'm not someone who enjoys violence, you understand. But in that moment, I lost my temper.
But why?
Because they killed you. And I wasn't able to stop them. I arrived too late.
Oh.
So when you lay there dying, I promised that I would always, from that moment on, protect you because I had failed at that moment in time.
Did you fail?
Yes.
It wasn't your fault, was it?
No, they killed you because of their politics. But I wasn't there to save you, and that is my fault.
I mean, it's not your fault. At least I don't think it is. I don't think I thought it was. I mean, I just saw it, but
I'm going to go, Darcy, and I'll say good evening. But, all right then, since it seems as though your past is coming back to have a pleasant talk with us this evening, I can at least tell you your former name. Is that good enough?
I mean, if yeah, look, I don't want to. I don't want to be a brat about it or anything.
You're not. You used to be called Anastasia Soveyevich Romanov.
I mean, Darcy's not very well versed in history, as her player is, who's now kind of dropping her her jaw on the ground and trying to pick it up. Um, okay. Darcy, what do you know about this?
What's your academics?
Do I even have that?
Well, we're about to see.
Yeah, I have one dot.
Roll me your intelligence academics. Difficulty is going to be 6 because she's a pretty famous figure.
Yeah, but Darcy was mostly brought up in the States.
Okay, difficulty 7 then.
Apparently, she saw the movie.
Yes, that is the name of that one girl played by, I think it was Meg Ryan in that movie.
I was more thinking about the not Disney movie, but you know.
Yeah, it was voiced by Meg Ryan.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. It was also it was also directed by Don Bluth. There you go. Random shit I know.
So, yeah, Darcy kind of blinks. It's like, what? I mean, you're joking, right?
No, I'm not. The painful irony that the princess used to be a princess.
Um, wow. I kind of don't know what to say about that.
Well, I'll say good evening to you, Miss Darcy. Or sorry, Miss Ellsworth.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
Siren will very quickly, once again, he does a lot of, whenever he moves, it can be quite quick. He will hug Darcy. And he'll hold,
Hmm?
hmm?
No, sorry, go on.
Because he'll hold it for a good count, but continue.
Yeah, she just seems kind of overwhelmed by all this. This is kind of like, what?
Alright.
So she's just kind of staying silent there.
He will then depart. And I think that is an excellent place to end our scene. Ooh, crap.
Yep.
Drop my pen. Thank you, players playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene of darkness in Dublin where one step down this road, I know where we're waiting. Hopes and dreams just can't be wrong. Have a pleasant evening.